Alright, so to get into this video, first and foremost, I would like to put out a little bit of a intro here. This is not going to be a typical video like I would normally make. It's going to be posted on my main channel. I've been working on this video for a long time. Not necessarily recording and editing as much as getting the ideas, getting the approach, thinking how I wanted to do this accurately. Obviously I've got my drums back here. I don't have the entire drum set, but that actually, it kind of works out really nicely this way. In the last few weeks, I've been working with some of the other drummers on a church, working on new cymbals, things like that. So I've actually been rotating mine in and out here, using them at my church, different things like that. So it actually kind of worked out well for me not to have it here, because I realized to do this video accurately, as you can read in the description down here, the title, we're going to be going through some things that I think, not necessarily what people have posted on my page or my videos per se, as much as just on social media. I happened to see a post by a fellow artist. She had a really cool opportunity. She became an endorser for a different, for a certain company, for hardware. And as I scrolled through the comments, there's a lot of people who, were like, okay, well, who is she? Well, just more free stuff, and other people who, you could tell by their comments that they had a total misconception of really what the post was versus what that, I guess, arena of being an artist is. There was even a couple of people who, I mentioned how they had been playing for how many years, and they couldn't understand how they could never get the opportunity that she did. I don't know why, but part of me kind of thinks that sometimes it's easiest for us to hate on somebody. Sometimes when we see that they've been given an opportunity that we long for, and our only best reaction is to slander them rather than go, maybe I just need to work my butt off harder. So what I want to do is take exactly what the title is. The reason why I named it this title is I'm honestly hoping that there's more people who haven't seen my videos, who haven't seen my content. If you are a new person to my channel, this is the exact reason why I named the title and I put it as what it is. When I sat there, I thought, you know what, a lot of the people that watch my content and subscribe to it, they know a lot of this, I guess, that aspect of the industry. They get that. I don't need to really go into a whole lot with them, because most of them know that, they understand it, they have a clear, transparent perspective of it, I guess, to use some bigger, fancier words. Some of them understand that there's reasons why they don't really care about being considered for opportunities, and others of them, they don't care about that. So hopefully, exactly what the title says, right? We're going to be looking at sponsorship versus endorsement, reality versus myth. If you're a new viewer, the reason why I put it as that is I'm hoping that maybe you search something like that because you're interested. And this is in a video that I want to do it to educate. I'm no way, shape, or form in a high caliber of musicians. I have the opportunity to endorse a few brands. I am an endorser, but I'm very early in the game and I'm very young in the game, I guess as you could call it. So I'm the perfect person in my mind, in my opinion, to speak on this topic in this manner, because I'm the guy that you would least expect to have any endorsements. Not in a bad way, just I'm not I'm not some big professionally touring musician who makes, 60 grand plus a year living on a bus playing shows every other night. That's not what my life is. So I have a different approach. Also, as a side notice, I'm using a room mic on my camera. I'm not using any external microphones or anything like that. So if the audio is a little I sincerely apologize. I'm going to try to make it the best that I can. I'm using just the camera and kind of the built-in microphone. So I really hope that this captures audio well enough. I'm just going to be talking to you. I'm not going to be playing anything like that. So don't worry. The other reason, and this kind of gets into why my gear is how it is. Right now, I don't have my cymbals down here. I don't really have anything what I would endorse. I do have some of my microphones on the drums, but I wanted to make an honest, unbiased, impartial video, right? Something that shows it's not necessarily about me being able to rep the brands that I endorse. This is to teach you guys who some of you might not understand how the world of endorsements and sponsorships work, but also maybe some of you are just curious. Maybe you aren't necessarily interested in getting one, you're just interested in knowing how they work. You hear the term thrown out there a lot, and you're going, I don't get this. So, there's a few things that I think I've heard, or rumors, and this is when it's going to be rumors. Okay, can we debunk it, or can we prove it to be true? There are some things that are rumors that have been spread out there overall in the drum community, and not only in the drum community, in the musician community, right? If you're a musician, you probably have heard this before. There is a huge difference. Topic one, there's a huge difference between being sponsored and endorsing. We will get to this one in a second. I'm going to go through the topics and then come back, because this one, I don't know how long this video is going to take. This is not about making a simple little short 5-minute video. This is about teaching. So I hope you guys can hang out for a few minutes. The second part is that endorsers get paid. I think the third thing is probably the fact that it changes status, right? It changes our status or whatever. Probably the fourth thing is that you have to be a full-time musician. You have to be a paid guy. It has to be your job, your main income to do it. And there's all these dilemmas of requirements on endorsements and levels and all this stuff, and it's a whole world of it. But the downside is there's been some I would say some very skewed representations of that world. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of what it is. So the biggest one is number one. There's a huge, and I mean a huge difference between sponsorship and endorsement. And I actually early on in my endorsement days, which I've been an endorsing artist for 5 years now, at least 5 years. I became an endorsing artist. I can't cite the exact time, but it was actually at the time, obviously we're married now, but it would have been my wife's junior year in college. I remember specifically it was her junior year in college, because I was actually visiting her in college when I got the email and all that stuff to confirm my artist endorsement level and my basically kind of make everything official, and we'll go here, online to set up your account and your profile and do all that stuff. Send in your biography, all that, or your bio and all that. So I don't remember exactly when it was. It would have been either 2013 or 2014. But either way, I've been an endorser for five years at least. And I've actually had, that was an endorsement, then a year later I had another endorsement, then I had another endorsement a year later. So I've actually, my most recent one has been 3 years ago. So I actually, early on, I had to correct her a very limited number of times, because I would, talk about how, I've got to, I don't even know what the conversations would be. I think it would be like how I had to, look at gear and stuff, and she would say, oh, well, because they sponsor you, right? And I'd say, no, they don't sponsor me, I endorse them. So here's the biggest thing, and it's a very simple idea. Companies do not endorse artists. Artists endorse companies. The reason is, and I'm not going to go political, I'm going to use politics as an example though. If you've ever thought about if a candidate is, in the main part of the race, right, presidential campaign season, right, and they drop out of the race, they might jump on and put their official endorsement on another politician. They're basically saying, look, I thought I was the best for the job. I'm going to be dropping out of the race, but I think if you're going to put your vote anywhere, that person's the best one for the job. So when the company sits there, they aren't sponsoring you. You endorse them, right? Also, all of these companies over here, and I'm looking at the side screen, I honestly am. All these companies are on the back wall. Those are not companies I endorse. Just want to make that clear. I honestly, depends on if I'm able to make it look nice and whether or not I block all that out. If I was able to and I was successful, then no problem. If not, I don't endorse any of those. That's why I can feel okay leaving them up, not covering them up or anything like that from here in the room, unless I can find a way in editing to do it. Anyway, point is, you as an artist, whenever you endorse a company, you are saying one thing and one thing only. You are saying that the company is the best in the products that they make, and their products are the best out of all the other type of products in the world, right? So I endorse a cymbal brand. To go through, my very first endorsement was for a microphone brand. My next one was for cymbals, and my last one was for drums. They're not actually these drums. By the way, these are not the drums. I believe I should have all the badges covered up and all this. This is an old set that I've had forever. It's just kind of my play around, junky, whatever, like try new stuff on it, right? It's whatever. And to be honest, the set that I'm getting through the company that I endorse for drums is a custom kit that I'm getting. So everything's still kind of in the design phase, getting it all done, because I'm like, I'm only going to do this like once for right now. So I'm going to take some time and make sure that it's everything I want it to be and more. But anyway, so whenever I've had these endorsements, basically, take for instance my cymbals, right? I love my cymbals. They are, you can ask my wife, you can ask the people that have had me playing. Like, I've been at gigs before setting stuff up and people have been like, no, like trying to help us load in and stuff, and they'll be like, oh, well, does your drummer need any help setting anything up? Oh, like his cymbals, anything like that? And they're like, no, do not touch his cymbals. Well, why not? Because they are his babies, and he might consider murdering you if you touch them. Probably not, but let's not take the chance. So, but that's the thing, is I love my cymbals, right? Well, whenever I decided that I'm like, I want to endorse this company, what I am saying is not only is that product better than any other symbols out there on the market, I'm also saying that the manufacturer, the brand, the company that made those symbols is better than any brand. Their R&D, how they make them, all that is better than any other brand on the market. The biggest thing is I fully believe that. So I endorse them. Okay, they don't endorse me. They aren't going to sit there and say I'm the best drummer in the world, because I know and they know that I'm probably not. And I'm okay with that, because I know there's a lot of guys that are 10,000 times better than I am. So, sponsorships. The reason why this is different than sponsorships is because sponsorship is when the company is more than likely paying, they are supporting financially, more than likely, the thing, right? So if you think about it, to put something out on the airwaves, like TV, it costs money. You have to pay a network money. So whenever you're watching a football game and they have the, this company, so-and-so halftime report, or, whatever it is, it's because that airtime is being supported some way or another by that company. So whenever you hear, a cell phone provider, financially supporting the, this time of that, I guess. I watch a lot of college football. Whenever we would go to the games, one year we had season tickets to our favorite college team. And when we would go to the game, they would be putting out, even at the game, whatever the company was, it would be their timeout something. And I can't remember what it was, but it was basically like, it was them paying for the airtime during the timeouts, right? No matter what was happening. I think the biggest thing was like all the replays. That was another big one. It was the replays. There was, I think, the local university hospital was the sponsor for all the replays, because it takes airtime, it takes all that stuff. It takes something to make there the possibility of, okay, we're using airtime, we're using time, we're doing something. This is all an orchestration. So to take that time, we need somebody to foot the bill. If you think about it this way also, you might have, big one is like alcohol companies, music events, big music festivals. They have the stages, right? They have different stages. Well, you might have this so-and-so stage over here, and they might have this so-and-so stage over here. Well, the company is paying to sponsor that stage, and the artists who are on that stage, they are paying for it, right? No matter what they're paying for, they are paying something for something else to sponsor that page, that stage. So whenever they're up there, they're putting their banner all up, they're putting their logo everywhere, they're doing all that because they're sponsoring it. So they're going, hey, we're paying $2,000 to do, to sponsor this thing, or paying this, flipping this bill, whether it's the electricity or the lights or whatever, to rent the venue, whatever it is, we're paying that. We're spending $2,000. Their goal is, hey, we're sponsoring it, so now we're going to hope that sponsoring this event, paying that $2,000, will turn back into people seeing our logo, and whenever they see our alcoholic beverage, at the concessions or somewhere else, whatever, that it'll entice people to purchase that product. It's a big one because they can spend $5,000 to sponsor something, to sponsor a stage, and then they turn out $50,000 in sales. That's what the sponsorship is called, right? That's what it's all about. So you don't get sponsored by a company. You endorse the company. The next biggest thing is you don't get paid, okay? The only thing that might translate is that, incorrectly translated by the way, The second thing is you don't get paid by the company to be an endorser. What you probably get is you get a discount on the products. When I signed on with my cymbals company to play their cymbals and to endorse them as an official artist, they sent me basically a product list, and that product list showed the retail price and the artist pricing. Well, as an artist, I get a discounted price. I think the discounted price is like 70%, right? Which is a huge discount, but it entices me to look and go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to buy that. Well, I'm an endorsing artist. You just heard me say I love my cymbals, right? So whenever I'm at a gig, and I've had this before, whenever I played for a gig and it was at a school, and one like the jazz band director or somebody, they came up to me and they were talking to me and they're like, you know, the school was looking at getting new cymbals for the jazz band or something going on. And so they'd had, you know, a really good brief talk with me, probably 10 minutes or whatever. I was still kind of getting stuff set up. So they were like trying to not stay in my hair. But they were like, you know, asking me all these questions, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I was explaining the different series, and they're like, well, do they have something that would be like for jazz, or, you know, some of these things, or what kind of, you know, lineups are they? And I was explaining it. Well, then that's whenever they're like, oh, so, you know, how do you like them? I'm like, I love them. Not just because I endorse them and they want me to say that. I say that because I fully, sincerely, genuinely love my cymbals. I would not be playing and using the products if I didn't love them. Simple as that. And I said, you know, you can make whatever decision you want, but I will tell you, I love my cymbals, and they're, yeah. So we don't get paid, but we might get discounts. But it's a lot different theory than getting paid. Even the times when maybe somebody, like if you do an event, right? So like whenever I say the word Thomas Lang, some people might be like, oh, I know who that is. Those guys might be kind of the exception where a company that they endorse might sponsor an event. The company's not going to pay them though. The company might say, hey, we'll sponsor the event. So we're going to pay for the, you know, whatever is needed for resources on the event. But it might also be a thing where the ticket sales are taken in, and they say, hey, we're going to, you know, make it where the, you know, we have a ticket sales, and a portion of that goes to pay the artist for coming in, you know, for their time and their energy and all that, and their effort, whatever. Their scheduling, whatever happened, we will pay a portion of that, and then some of the sales might go towards, you know, trying to replace what the sponsor paid. You know, you never know. But that's why there's a difference. And off of that, I think, is when you get to the free stuff. Some of us may or may not get free stuff, but we don't always get free stuff, and we don't get everything for free. And there are very few exceptions to this. The exceptions would be like Neil Peart, Tico Torres, Thomas Lang, Benny Greb, Vinny Colaiuta, David Garibaldi, Steve Gadd. God, you guys get the point. Buddy Rich, you know, God rest his soul. Those guys, whenever I say those, and those are industry stinking names, those guys might get some free stuff because they are guaranteed they're going to go out there, they are going to promote it, they are going to give it exposure to the greatest, and the company knows they can give that guy $2,000 worth of, you know, $2 or $3,000 worth of nice cymbals, and they're going to go out there and they're going to play it, and then there's going to be 500 drummers in the audience. Then all of a sudden they go, oh, he's playing those drums? I need to go out and do, oh, well, he's playing those cymbals, oh, he uses those sticks? I need to go out and get those. Literally because their favorite drummer uses that product. And the company goes, gee, we gave a guy $3,000 worth of free gear, but we reaped like 10 or 12 grand between 500 drummers that love it. That's a business decision, right? Now not only do they have, you know, a little bit of what they gave him, they reaped that back, and then they made some money on top of that. Also, that's that many more product that's out in the world, right? So those guys might be some of the exceptions, and obviously those are, that's your A-list of drummers, right? Those are your industry names. So those are going to be the exception to some free stuff. Other than that, you might get like a free shirt with an order, but you might pay for, like, if it's cymbals, you might get 2 or 3 cymbals. They might throw in a $20 shirt. If you go out and you get your drums, they might say, hey, we're gonna, send you some stands. If you go out and it's, microphones, you name it, the company might go, hey, we'll send you a free thing because you did all this. So that's a big thing. The biggest thing I want to say is, how does it happen? It's a lot of exposure and reputation, and I will say this over and over. YouTube has been a huge vessel. It's a huge vessel for me. There's a lot of people who have never heard me play, never seen me play, and for a while I was actually okay with that. If you know me, who I really am, I would love, if I only had enough lighting to see my drums, my set, the stuff I needed to see, and everything else was pitch black, I would be content. Most of you guys probably wouldn't have seen me if it wasn't for YouTube. So it's exposure. And reputation is a big one. If people know that you're a great person, but if they know that you trust your gear. People know for a long time that I use the best gear. I use gear that I love, and that's the other thing. There's a pro and a con to it. And gonna have some company coming in, so just in case it catches them on the mic, I'm sorry. But the pro and the cons, right? So to lead this out, the cons are that normally you have a contract that you sign. The contract might be for this long of time, and this might be all the different terms and conditions to it. Might be having to use their product. My cymbal company that I endorse, they say whenever I appear as a drummer in any print, right, as any resource, if I appear as a drummer, the cymbals have to be this brand. I'm okay with that. Some of the cons might be you don't get the chance to go out and play different stuff, right? You might not get the chance to really, we'll try this other brand out, see how it goes. Another con is, like, if you're out playing somewhere, and most companies, they're pretty understanding if you don't really have any choice or you don't have the ability to change anything. If you're out there and you endorse a certain drum company or a drum manufacturer, and you're playing like at a festival and you're a low-down support band, and the other drummers that are out there, they got their kit out there, and that's the one that you're going to be playing, and you're like, I don't have any ability to use my own drums. They are not going to let me. I have to play his. And you're like, hey, drum company, here's the deal. This is what I'm dealing with. How do I go about it? And most of the time they'll just go, hey, you know what? If you can tape anything off with gaff tape, or do anything to show that you don't show the product image, like the logos or the branding, and any pictures that are with you, or blur it out, block it out, whatever you can. So some of those cons you don't really care about, because you're like, why would I want to play different drums? I love these drums. Why would I want to play with different drumsticks? I love my drumsticks. On an endorsement application, encourage you all to just check out what is needed. If you're interested or you've ever thought about it, just check it out. Most of them have it on their website. They will have on there, this is a common question. If we don't choose to extend an endorsement opportunity to you, will you still continue to use our products? Be honest. If you're not going to, and if it's a cut and dry, no, that's the end of the game situation, be honest with them. Tell them. They talk to each other. Companies talk to each other. The artist relations departments, they chit-chat, right? Be honest with them. But if you do, understand that doesn't mean that they're going to give you the endorsement. That just means that they're asking, hey, Do you love our stuff enough that even if you don't get the endorsement, you're still gonna do it? There's times whenever I have posted stuff and I have repped hard on the drumsticks that I use. I do not endorse, as an official artist, I do not endorse the drumstick company that I play, right? I don't endorse them. I would love to, but I don't. I still love them. I still do the hashtags. I still tag them. I do all that stuff. My in-ears. I use and love the in-ears that I have, right? I've applied. I didn't make it. Okay, well, are you still going to use our products? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. You know, I'm still going to use it because I love those in-ears. So that's the big thing, is the cons are only really cons if you're not ready to step into that game. The cons are really, they're almost like absent if you think about it, right? So this is like a long video. I really apologize, but I wanted to give you guys the full in-depth look as much as you could. If you got to the end of this and you decide, you know, like you want to see more of these kind of videos, whatever, man, throw me some love down in the comments. Let me know if you've got extra questions. If I didn't answer something in this video that pertains to this title in this video, ask down in the comments. Let me know. Either I will try to reply, or if I get enough people who are asking about the same question, I might just make a continued video. You never know. Also, I would really encourage you guys and invite you to check out my actual drum videos, the covers. Go check them out. If you like what you see and you want to see more, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. I've slowed down quite a bit from what I was. I got a lot of stuff going on in life, and there's some videos that are recent that will kind of explain what else is going on. But feel free to subscribe, do all that stuff. If you got something from this video, even if it was just a good Q&A type session, hit that like button. Also, everything that I just did, that exposure. So, being sincere, that's kind of what I got. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for sticking around for a while. I guess I should have said this is not a 5-minute video. But I wanted to be honest with you guys. I want to be transparent. That's the game. So I love the companies that I endorse, and I love the companies that I use their products and I don't endorse. So you gotta love what you do what you love, and we'll see you next time, guys.